Persistence is very important. You should not give up unless you are forced to give up. Failure is an option here. If things are not failing, you are not innovating enough. When something is important enough, you do it even if the odds are not in your favor. It's okay to have your eggs in one basket as long as you control what happens to that basket. People work better when they know what the goal is and why. It is important that people look forward to coming to work in the morning and enjoy working. My biggest mistake is probably weighing too much on someone's talent and not someone's personality. I think it matters whether someone has a good heart. Talent is extremely important. It's like a sports team. The team that has the best individual player will often win. But then there's a multiplier from how those players work together and the strategy they employ. If you get up in the morning and think the future is going to be better, it is a bright day. Otherwise, it's not. What makes innovative thinking happen? I think it's really a mindset. You have to decide. Really pay attention to negative feedback and solicit it, particularly from friends. Hardly anyone does that, and it's incredibly helpful. People should pursue what they're passionate about. That will make them happier than pretty much anything else. Being an entrepreneur is like eating glass and staring into the abyss of death. I wouldn't say I have a lack of fear. In fact, I'd like my fear emotion to be less because it's very distracting and fries my nervous system. If you're trying to create a company, it's like baking a cake. You have to have all the ingredients in the right proportion. When Henry Ford made cheap, reliable cars, people said, "Nah, what's wrong with a horse?" That was a huge bet he made, and it worked. I think we have a duty to maintain the light of consciousness, to make sure it continues into the future. It's very important to like the people you work with. Otherwise, life and your job is gonna be quite miserable. Don't delude yourself into thinking something's working when it's not, or you're gonna get fixated on a bad solution. You shouldn't do things differently. Just because they're different, they need to be better. I think it is possible for ordinary people to choose to be extraordinary. You guys are the magicians of the 21st century. Don't let anything hold you back. Imagination is the limit. Go out there and create some magic. There are way easier places to work. But nobody ever changed the world on 40 hours a week. Starting and growing a business is as much about the innovation, drive and determination of the people who do it as it is about the product they sell. The company was bleeding money like crazy, and if we didn't solve these problems in a very short period of time, we would die. If something has to be designed and invented, and you have to figure out how to ensure that the value of the thing you create is greater than the cost of the inputs, then that is probably my core skill. You have to be pretty driven to make it happen, otherwise, you will just make yourself miserable. Some people don't like change, but you need to embrace change if the alternative is disaster. You should take the approach that you're wrong. Your goal is to be less wrong. Simplicity is a great virtue, but it requires hard work to achieve it and education to appreciate it. And to make matters worse, complexity sells better. I don't ever give up. I'd have to be dead or completely incapacitated. For my part, I will never give up. And I mean never.